Before we look at the Excel spreadsheet, we need to review quickly three of the key inputs into the productivity of your workload. They are the frequency, the building size, and the density or degree of difficulty. Firstly, the frequency. When we quote on a particular building, a large part of the cost is going to be the frequency at which we do something. So let's assume half a dozen people have quoted on a contract. We're all within 10% of one another, except for one company, and they're 20% below everyone else's cost. And when they go and present to their client, they guarantee the client they're going to clean every fixture and fitting that you're going to clean and the other people that are 20% more expensive. And they'll look the client in the eye and swear to them without a lie that they're going to clean the same things. What they don't say is how often. How often is the frequency? So the frequency is terribly important to the cleaning standard. So that person who's 20% cheaper is going to clean all the same fixtures and fittings that you are. However, they're going to clean them 20% less often. And that 20% less often means that a lot of fixtures and fittings are going to get dirty and the building's not going to be clean. Next is the building size. The building size, as we'll take a look at, has a large impact on productivity because it takes the same amount of time to set up your equipment, set up your cleaning trolley, get your staff to the area to be cleaned. It's the same time in a small building as it is a large building. Also in larger buildings we can dedicate particular cleaning tasks. So as we get into larger buildings, we get more productive. So depending on the size of a building, we're going to apply an overall productivity factor based on the size of the building, which could be on our generic workload. We might add 10%, we might deduct 10%, depending on the type and the size of the building. The third one is the density or degrees of difficulty. If we get a particular area within a building that's extremely dirty, we probably need to apply a density factor to that area because it's going to take a lot longer to clean. Now when we do our facility survey and walk around, something with a high density is going to be very obvious. We're going to walk into an area and say, wow, this is going to take a long time to clean. Or we could walk into another area and say, wow, there's nothing here to clean. So the third adjustment to our productivity is applied to a particular area of the building based on its density. The majority of cleaning you're going to do should be based on a standard density which doesn't vary the overall cleaning time or productivity. Okay, now let's have a look at the workload. I have two examples to introduce you to. One is a carpeted office. The other one is a carpeted corridor. So when we go into a high-rise building, on average 80% of the office area will be offices and 20% will be corridors. And there's quite a different variety of cleaning tasks performed in an office compared to a corridor. For example, there's no waste bins in a corridor. So the productivity of cleaning a corridor is a lot higher than cleaning the carpeted office area. So it's important to understand when we measure an office that we've got both office areas and corridor areas. So in this particular example, we've got a range of cleaning tasks which I'm going to go through with you. The first one being empty and remove rubbish. The second one is dust all fixtures and equipment, spot clean vertical and horizontal surfaces, spot clean partition glass, spot clean telephones. Highlighted in blue are the vacuuming tasks. We have spot vacuuming, traffic vacuuming and full vacuuming. Underneath that we have spot cleaning stains on carpets, vacuuming furniture, dust all low reach areas meaning skirting boards. If there's no skirting boards, there's no low reach areas. Dust all high reach areas, that generally means areas above 1.5 metres in height. dust window blinds, and dust air conditioning vents. So there's a standard range of tasks that would be in most offices. Now when we go down and look at the corridors, we have the same type of vacuuming tasks. We have spot vacuuming, traffic vacuuming, and full vacuuming. Underneath that, we have spot clean stains on carpets, spot clean vertical and horizontal surfaces, which means door handles, light switches, etc. Spot clean door glass, dust low reach areas, dust high reach areas, and dust vents. So the main difference is we don't have rubbish. We don't have waste removal. Okay? Right. Now moving across on our spreadsheet, let's have a look at, start to look at how the spreadsheet's put together. Up here at the top, we have a 260, and that's our service days frequency. So it's very important to put in the correct service days, because the calculation of the time it takes to clean a day for this area is based on the service frequency. So in any particular building, the first thing we do on our costing is put in the service frequency. We won't talk about it now, we'll come back to it, but we also have the productivity over here based on the size of the area. Having a factor of 1 means it's going to apply the times exactly as they're prescribed on the spreadsheet. So coming back over on our spreadsheet, we have our cleaning tasks over here, and over here are all our cleaning tasks again. Then in column C is our productivity factors. Now they're the time to clean 100 square metres. So each one of these times is based on the time to clean 100 square metres. Then we have the size of the area or the units. In here, we're going to input the size of the area. So in this case, we're going to input 1200 square metres, and that will be duplicated all the way down this column, because all the cleaning tasks are based on a productivity per 100 square metres. So if we change that to 1000, then all these are going to change, and our numbers and times are all going to change. However, our productivity per square metre won't change, because the productivity square metre per square metre is based on the cleaning task and the frequency, not on the size of the area. The total time to clean is dependent on the size of the area, but not the productivity. So let's take a look at what we put in here. We have a default frequency. We have a service days of 260. So we're saying here we're going to empty and remove rubbish every day, 260 days of the year. We're going to dust all furniture and fixtures and equipment 52 times a year. That's 1 day a week. Now what we mean by that is over a period of a week, we're going to dust all the furniture, fixtures and equipment. We're going to break it down, and we're going to teach our staff to clean a little bit each day. So over a period of a week, they clean all the fixtures and fittings. We're going to spot clean 104, 2 days a week. So we're then going to spot clean partition glass as well, 2 days a week. So we're going to spot clean more often than we're going to dust. And that makes sense, because every day people are leaving their grubby fingerprints on things. We need to clean them every day. Dust falls every day, but it takes a number of days or a number of weeks for the dust to build up before it becomes a cleaning issue. So spot cleaning we're always going to do more frequently than we're going to do the dusting. Down here, we're now going to look at our vacuuming tasks. In very few situations are we going to spot clean telephones, so we put a 0 in there. We're going to spot vacuum and remove visible soil 208 days. That's 4 days a week. On the 5th day of the week, we're going to traffic vacuum. So that means 1 day a week we're going to spot vacuum everything. 4 days a week we're going to spot vacuum everything, and 1 day a week we're going to traffic vacuum. So over 5 days we're going to break the building out and eventually traffic vacuum all the areas of the offices. We've then put in here we're going to vacuum wall to wall 4 times a year, once a quarter. We're going to spot clean stains on carpet 26 times a year, which is every 2nd week. And then with our dusting, we've got in low reach once a year, high dusting 4 times a year or every 3 months, windows and blinds once a year, air conditioning vents 4 times a year or once a quarter. So that's a specification we've put together, and the productivity factor we have is based on this specification of these cleaning tasks at these frequencies. We have a productivity factor for the offices of 796 square metres an hour. Now we're going to go down and have a look at the corridors. And again, highlighted in blue, we've got the vacuuming tasks. In the corridors, we've put in, we're going to spot vacuum the corridors 208, which is 4 days a week. We're going to traffic vacuum the corridors 52, or 1 day a week. And we're going to full vacuum the corridors once a year. Now, the first thing I want to point out to you is there's a bit of an inconsistency there, because we've got a higher frequency of vacuuming in the offices, particularly full vacuum we've got 4 times a year, versus in the corridors we got once a year. Now, it's logical that the corridors are going to get a lot dirtier and a lot more traffic than the offices. So the frequency of cleaning, particularly the detail cleaning in the traffic vacuum and the full vacuum, should be higher in the corridors than what it is in the offices. So what we're going to do, we'll come back to that, but we're going to come back and look at adjusting that. So based on these cleaning tasks in the corridors and these frequencies, we have a productivity per hour of 1,275 square metres. Now on this spreadsheet, I've also put a combined productivity of 892. And what I've assumed there is 80% of the area is going to be clean at this productivity for the offices, and 20% of the building is going to be corridors. So 20% of that time is applied to our total productivity to come out at 892, or approximately 900 square metres an hour. Okay, so let's take a look now at adjusting our vacuuming frequencies. So if we come down to our corridors, which are carpets, we're going to say we've probably got a full vacuum and traffic vacuum a lot more regularly than what we've got in the specification at the moment. So we're going to put in there that we're going to full vacuum once a month the corridors, and we're going to spot vacuum the other 40. So 40 and 12 is 52. So what that means is this makes up 1 day a week, the combination of traffic vacuuming and full vacuuming, and the spot vacuuming is done 4 days a week. So that's now changed our productivity a little bit, and we've come down to just under 1200 square metres an hour. But that's probably a more realistic specification for cleaning a carpet. The other thing to note here is we've also put in, we're going to spot clean stains on carpets 260, which is 5 days a week. So if we come back up here, we might say to ourselves, well, hang on a minute, I'm 4 over, because in total these should add up to 260. So we're going to reduce that to 48, plus 4 gives us 52, and we're going to have a slight increase of productivity now, just over 800. Our overall productivity rate has decreased a fraction of what it was originally. We're down to 882 over here. We were just over 900. So that, some of us may say, is a realistic specification for cleaning a high-rise building. We'll have a quick look at the overall productivity factor now. So if we say to ourselves, this is a big building, because we can break down cleaning tasks and dedicate jobs, we're going to be on average 10% more efficient than the standard benchmark. So up here in our productivity, instead of putting in 1, we're going to put in 1.1. And our productivity is now going to jump to just under 1,000 square metres an hour. So that's the first part of the work loading that I wanted to show you. We're going to break this work loading up into a couple of different segments. So I hope you've followed what we're doing. We're probably going to repeat a lot of it because it might take a few times to make it clear on what all these different factors mean and how we vary them to come up with a building costing. Now you're probably wondering, how on earth am I going to use this in my business? I've got no idea. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to take a costing spreadsheet, measure up one of your existing jobs and apply the sheet to one of your existing jobs until you get the model accurate and you're comfortable with it. Once you've modelled it on one of your existing jobs, you've obviously got a level of confidence to then apply it to similar type buildings and be able to quote using a much more standardised model than what you have in the past. Okay, so that's the end of the first video for the workloading. We'll now have a quick review of a few different sections and look at the second video.